good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all you folks out there in the YouTube space, the internets, Facebook, and the entire True Heel Nation. This is your good brother J News with another rendition of J News Japan. Tonight, we're covering Night 8 of the New Japan Cup semi-final night. Yeah. Oh, man. To use an expression that I use a lot, tonight left me with a whole lot of nothing, folks. A whole lot of nothing. I believe, I don't know if this is going to permeate through the video or whatever the case is. Take this at my word. I know it's pro wrestling. I know it's scripted. I know there's bookers and agents and producers and stuff like that or whatever the case is. I'm not taking this personally. But I invest emotionally in this stuff for the simple fact that it's one of my longest standing, I don't know if you want to call it hobbies, but it's a passion of mine and stuff like that. And not necessarily when things don't go the way that I predict them, but when things just don't add up or make sense, right? Or when things are just a little bit too long drawn out, right? And I'll make that point later on. I get it, man. Sometimes they gotta call an audible. There's injuries involved in professional wrestling. Like I said, there's bookers, there's producers, higher ups, politics in pro wrestling. But tonight's event and the outcome of the semifinal matches threw me off. I'll say that they threw me off for all intents and purposes due to all the different storylines that were going on during the New Japan Cup in the first 7 nights. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But let's get to it, y'all. Let's get to it because I don't want this video to run too long and I want everybody to stay engaged. So, match 1. We had Young Lion, Gabriel Kidd with Yuji Nagata, Kota Ibushi, and Tanahashi in an 8-man tag versus members of Suzuki-gun, El Desperado, Minoru Suzuki, Zack Sabre Jr., and Tai Chi. As I've stated before, Zack Sabre Jr. and Tai Chi seem to be heading down a path, a collision course, if you may, down for a challenge of those IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team belts that right now reside with Kota Ibushi and Tanahashi. So that storyline continued on in this match. The match lasted about 12 minutes or so. Minoru Suzuki and Yuji Nagata yet again pounding on each other, strong styling it, forearms, kicks, you name it. They went at it. And Gabriel Kidd, of all the young lions that have been presented during the New Japan Cup, I think is the one that's been shown the least, and he's the only one I believe that's representing the LA Dojo currently. I don't necessarily know if there's something up with that. We'll find out because I've got something else for you guys to check out at a later date, or if you want to check it out tonight, that'll be cool too. So we'll continue going on there. The winners here were the members of Suzuki-gun when El Desperado hit Gabriel Kidd with El Pinche Loco, his finisher. Second match of the night, we had members of Chaos show one half of the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. The young man who's been getting the push throughout the New Japan Cup and having his star rise throughout the New Japan Cup, along with other members of Chaos, Tomohiro Ishii and Hiroki Goto, against members of Los Ingobernables de Japón, Bushi, Shingo Takagi, and Tetsuya Naito. In this match, what we saw was just more proof that Sho and Takagi are going to meet down the line. I'm not sure if it's going to be on the next show on July 11th for the final. I'm not sure if it's going to be at Dominion, but expect Sho to go up against Shingo Takagi and challenge him for his never open weight championship. Look for that to come to fruition within the next week or so. I'll say that was the development that I got out of this match. Another match that Tetsuya Naito got some more reps in. And Sho won the match with his shock arrow finisher on Bushi. I wouldn't be able to tell you that there was anything else that was going on in this match from a storyline standpoint for other members of Chaos and or Tetsuya Naito, due to the fact that obviously Naito's got his match coming up with the New Japan Cup winner on the 11th, and whatever match he might have coming up on for Dominion, and Bushi ate the pin in this particular match. During the segue, there was a big intermission between the second and third match. Obviously, clean ring cleaning and stuff like that or whatever. I mentioned in the previous video for Night 7 that there had been a vignette that was shown about a New Japan talent, or it might be a returning young lion coming in as a new character, a way of the Grand Master. And they showed the vignette here in Night 8, and this time they showed the face and the body of this wrestler. Way of the Grand Master has been revealed to be a new talent by the name of Master Wato, or Master Watto, if you want to take it whatever way you want to pronounce it and stuff like that. So the getup that he was in the vignette, right? He had like a grandmaster garb, the usual nice silk grandmaster top and bottom and stuff like that, along with his I would call them martial arts shoes if we're for us who don't know any better, like ninja shoes and shit like that, or whatever the case is. That was what was shown. That was the optic on the vignette. And then Master Watto made his in-ring, or he made his debut at the show. And I usually don't judge guys on what they wear, right? Especially when you don't see him wrestle and stuff like that. I don't remember this guy. I don't remember him being a young lion. He might be. Someone check me in the comments if anything. But he came to the ring in this blue on blue getup, kind of like shiny reflective jacket kind of thing, some off-color gold kind of wrestling shoes, in a sense, with some shin pads, and his gear, his wrestling gear, didn't necessarily, for me, match the character that they're going for. Besides that, right, the gear not matching the character. Of all the wrestlers that they could have picked in order to have this guy debut with, right, not necessarily against, because he didn't have a match with, they picked Douki of Suzuki-gun to come out and beat this guy down, this new wrestler who made his way to New Japan Pro Wrestling, the way of the Grand Master. And Douki, of all wrestlers, came out and beat the crap out of this guy with his cane, stick, whatever you want to call it. I didn't get it. All these vignettes for the entire tournament running, and if this guy who is Master Watto was a young lion at one point, he's still being treated as a young lion. That's usually not the case when guys finally make full character. So that threw me off, and I thought that was kind of whack. But I guess, more to come, right? Probably a match with Douki and Master Watto at the finals or whatever. Or Master Watto will tag with a collective of other New Japan stars to go up against a collective of Suzuki-gun. But that's what happened during the intermission and in between the second and third match. Third match of the night, the match I was looking forward to the most. It was Evil of Los Ingobernables de Japón versus Sanada of Los Ingobernables de Japón. I I mentioned before that the results, the outcomes of the matches didn't make much sense to me. Just from an overall storyline standpoint, I'm going to take my bias out of this, right? So, from a storyline standpoint, I understood, I'm going to say this outright, I understood Evil winning over Sonata from a storyline standpoint, right? The last couple of matches, you've had Evil tapping into his more dubious and evil side. So he was doing more dastardly things in order to get his wins, winning at any means, by any means necessary, right? Whatever it took to win, he was doing, and that's exactly what happened in this match. This match lasted about 20 minutes. It was a war of attrition, really. These guys were going back and forth, hitting each other with as many high impact moves as possible at a very deliberate pace. There was a lot of move, reversal, move, high impact, sell. A lot of move, reversal, move, high impact, sell. That was the pace of the match between Evil and Sonata. The last 2 or 3 minutes, I guess it's me. I don't know, man. It's me being picky and stuff like that. I don't like the ref bump. The ref bump to me, I know it's supposed to protect some guys when they end up losing due to the ref bump and things of that nature. But as long as Sonata has been with New Japan Pro Wrestling and knowing, like I said at the beginning of this tournament, knowing his contract situation with New Japan, and him still being treated like a second-hand citizen in a sense, with his talent, it just threw me, right? But like I said, I understood Evil winning due to the storyline that had been created and worked out during the New Japan Cup. I was upset that Sonata lost due to the fact that it was the ref bump and 2 low blows and then hitting him with Evil to win. It took Evil to, what was it? The wrapping the chair around his head, and running him into the post, doing it again, getting another chair, wrapping that chair around his head, and then having another chair and swinging for the fences and hitting that on Sonata. And Marty Asami let all that shit go. No doubt, semifinal match, you let these guys go all out. But that wasn't Sonata's play. Sonata wasn't trying to do the underhanded stuff. That was Evil's play. And to see Evil have to do all that just to beat Sonata proves, and I understand the protection part of it, proves that it takes way more than a regular basic wrestling match to beat Sonata at his best. And I guess that's the level where you say, hey, Sonata's protected here. But it's like, damn, when the hell is he gonna win the big one? When is he gonna vie for one of the secondary titles? Because at this point, he doesn't even look like a mid carder. They treat him like one that's below mid card and whatnot. And he's not even in a tag team anymore, obviously, because Evil seems to be projected, not seems to be, but he's projected to go into the final up against the winner of the next match. So I'll leave that there. Match number 4, Kazuchika Okada versus Hiromu Takahashi. Here is where I told myself, all right, they might set it up where it's going to be still LIJ versus LIJ, Hiromu versus Evil. That was my outlook when I first started watching the last match of the night. And then as it went on, and I considered the pace of the match, I said to myself, damn, this is not a Takahashi-paced match. This is an Okada-paced match. This match lasted almost half an hour, 27 minutes. It was a good match. Evil and Sonata's match, it was a good match. I just, Okada winning this match, being that Okada had already won the New Japan Cup in 2013 and 2016, what's the sense, right? That's my question overall. No diatribe, no tangent. Everybody comment below. Say whatever you got to say. Okada winning this match made no sense to me. Do they not believe in any of the other talent in New Japan to go head-to-head with Naito? Or is the plan to put the championships back on Okada? Like, I don't understand, because Okada's been champ for the last, I don't know, off and on 5 years running. So it's like, what, are you not going to create any other stars? You know, and it kind of cheapens it for me with the fact that Okada's in the final. So it's going to be Okada versus Evil in the final. Plus other matches. The final will take place on July 11th, and then on July 12th, we will see the winner of the New Japan Cup go up against Naito at Dominion. So that's my review of Night 8 of the New Japan Cup. I'm assuming you guys can tell that I was frustrated with this and how it went. It wasn't a bad event, y'all. I'm not calling these matches bad or anything like that. The tag matches were what they were. But it was just the outcomes of the semifinal matches that kind of threw me for a loop. And I didn't understand, nor am I going to at this point. I'm not going to sour on the final. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to report on it. And I'm going to try to remain as unbiased as possible just to understand what the storyline is going to be going forward. But right now, I don't see the clear picture. I wanted to mention something about calling an audible. The reason as to why I mentioned that earlier at the beginning of my review was because there was a spot during the Sonata versus Evil match where Sonata went to flip over, and I guess he was trying to maneuver into his own version of sliced bread, and he didn't get all the way over, and he fell on the crown of his head. Now, there was probably another 5 to 7 minutes left after that happened of the match, and Sonata looked fine. But as we're all well aware of how wrestling works, these guys are gonna work. They're gonna work injured, and they're gonna finish the match because they're pros, right? I feel like Sonata probably got a stinger, as they call it. It looked like he lost some sensation in his left hand. It might have been him just playing it up and selling it. I don't know, but he literally did land on his head. Usually when someone lands on their head, you can literally see folks' necks have that crunching effect when that stack of dimes, as Stone Cold has to say, you could see it collapse. And in Sonata's case, that's not what happened. It was like he landed on his head, and it seemed like he was about to do some b-boy shit and like spin on his head, but he stayed on his head for like half to a second, and then like flopped over. And you saw when he flopped over, him and Evil were clutched together, and they were talking. Evil and Sonata were talking. I'm not sure if an audible was called at that point. I'm not sure how hurt Sonata was. Like I said, there was probably another 5 to 7 minutes left to that match. Maybe that's why Evil won the way that he did. I don't know. But me feeling thrown off, not just because of Sonata's loss, but the way it happened, right? How it transpired. That might be what I'm upset about. It might be just the fact that I feel like Sonata might be hurt. And he had to call the audible in the ring. Which then makes sense, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, fuck, man, we could have gotten that, what would have been, right? If it would have been Sonata versus Okada and Sonata end up winning, or if this was just, me being a mark and them actually selling well and doing what they had to do in order to get Evil over. But I don't know, guys. I just wanted to bring that up. Like I said, comment below. Let me know what your theories are. Sorry for the long-windedness today, but it like I said, it threw me off, and I wanted to get my points across to see as to what everybody else is thinking. This is going to be my last video for the week. July 11th is in 8 days, so that's next Saturday. So I'll be back sometime next weekend for y'all to watch more another review. We'll see as to what the finals, what the card for the finals look like outside of Okada versus Evil, and then we'll move on to Dominion. And the Dominion show review is going to be a true heel heat collective review. So it's going to be me, SP3, and other members of the True Heel Nation reviewing the show. So look out for that. Yet again, folks, if you want to catch Night 8, the semifinal night of the New Japan Cup, get on to njpwworld.com. It is up there streaming for free today. Check it out. No signups, no subscriptions. Do the damn thing. As always, please comment, like, share, and subscribe. Be good, y'all. Take care of one another and stay safe out there. This has been your good brother J News, and I'm out. Peace.